Hello guys, so we are back again, and in this session we are going to start with higher order linear differential equations with constant coefficient. But before starting with the session, hope you have subscribed our channel so that we can bring more engineering mathematical content for you guys. Now in this session we are going to develop our basics related to nth order linear differential equations. So first we are going to write the chapter name higher order linear differential equations with constant coefficient. Okay, now the most general form of the nth order linear differential equation LDE L dot D dot E with constant coefficient is, what is the most general form? Just need to remember dn by dx power n y plus p1 into dn minus 1 dx power n minus 1 y p2 dn minus 2 x dx power n minus 2 y, and this will go on till p n minus 1 dy by dx into plus pn into y equal to q of x. So this is the most general form of nth order linear differential equation. Now the things here p1, p2, p3, pn are what? Constants. Okay, here p1, p2, p3 are constants while these are derivatives. Now in further what you will understand that y is what? Dependent variable, as we have studied in linear differential equation, and x is independent variable, so this function q of x also becomes independent function. And now here what is happening is that the degree of y is always 1 in this equation, so we can take the y outside. So what we are going to get? We are going to get dn by dx power n plus p1 dn minus 1 into dx power n minus 1, right? And here p2 dn minus 2 dx power n minus 2, p3 dn minus 3 x power dx power n minus 3, and so on till pn minus 1 d by dx plus pn into y. Okay, I have taken y outside into q of x. Now remember, there is one thing which is called differential operator. Till now we have not discussed about it. Differential operator. What is differential operator? Whenever d by dx appears, we can replace it by d, and if d square by dx square appears, we can replace it by d square. Similarly, d cube by dx cube appears, we can replace it by d cube, and so on. If dn by dx power n appears, we can replace it by dn. So what is d? D is differential operator. Wherever you see d by dx, you can replace that by d. And one more thing, d square by dx square, you can replace it by d square, and d cube by dx cube you can replace by d cube, and d power n into dx power n you can replace by d power n, and d is differential operator. Now, so here dn by dx power n can be replaced by d power n. Similarly, all the terms can be replaced, so d power n, here p1 d power n minus 1, p2 d power n minus 2, and this will go on till we reach the final. Here pn minus 1 d, here pn will be there, and into y equal to q of x. So this is the modified form of nth order linear differential equation with constant coefficient. The coefficients are constant. The coefficient is constant here. Now what we are going to see in this, we can write this whole thing, this p of n minus 1 p2 into d power n minus 2 as f of d, some function of d, into y equals to q of x. So this is the most general form of higher order differential equation. This form can be used to identify the questions, most general form. This form is just reduced to this by considering it some function of f of d. Now this f of d can be treated as algebraic quantity, like 2 f of d are there, then you can add them, you can divide them, and similarly same thing applies for d. You can apply all algebraic quantities on d, so d can be treated as algebraic quantity, right? And all algebraic properties, in what sense? What are the properties? Means division, multiplication, okay, factorization, these all things, expansion can be applied. So this was the thing related to general form of higher order linear differential equation. So what is the picture cut thing? The picture cut thing is, there is one general equation with this, with constant coefficient p1, p2, p3, and y is there. Now what we did, we took y outside and we got this type of thing. Then we introduce a thing which is called differential operator. Differential operator is nothing but d by dx is called differential operator. Now similarly d square by dx square is called d square, d cube by dx cube is called d cube, and d power n dx power n is called d power n. So because of this we replace all by d, then we got this equation, which we consider it as some function f of d, where f of d can be treated as algebraic quantity, and similarly d can also be treated as algebraic quantity. Now let's move on to the next thing. And now here, okay, if you understand the general form of linear differential equation, fine. If you don't understand, when we do the question you will get more understanding of this, and as we move ahead with types you will completely understand what was the meaning of this general equation. Mostly what happens when we come across this chapter, in the starting the student gets very feels that this chapter is very difficult, because the general form is quite its form is quite uncomfortable. Okay, it doesn't feel good. So when you will see the questions, then you will automatically understand why you not need to go in these general forms. Whenever you will be able to solve, you have to come across solving problems, you will use this general form, f of d into y equals to q of x. So if you remember this format, it is more than enough. Just need to know what is differential operator. Now let's discuss these differential operators more quickly and more properly. So if we discuss it more properly, so first we see differential operator. Differential operator is nothing but d, which is what? D by dx, right? D, which is nothing but d by dx. Now we will see integral operator, which is nothing but 1 by d, which means integral into dx. It is called integral operator. Now if you place d sin x, what does it will? You can replace this by d by dx sin x, and this will automatically become cos x. Similarly, if you write 1 by d sin x, it means integral sin x dx, which is nothing but minus cos x plus c. So in this sense you have to understand what is integral operator and what is integral operator. Differential operator, integral operator. Now we are going to see something which is inverse differential operator. Just need to know there is not much application of this inverse differential operator. What is it? It is 1 upon f of d. This is called inverse differential operator. Now what we are going to see next is something which is called auxiliary equation. Remember, equation of f of m equals to 0 is called auxiliary equation. F of m is obtained by replacing each d by in f of d by m. So here this f of d, if this is some equation, okay, x square plus 2x d square plus 2d plus d cube, you have to replace all d by m and equate f of d equal to 0, which is f of m equals to 0. Then you will get auxiliary equation. It is simply just replace the d terms in the equation by m and equate it to 0. Now whenever they will give you question, they will always ask you general solution of a differential higher order linear differential equation. It is a combination of what? Complementary function plus particular integral. Okay, so these two things when combined, they give you the solution of nth order or higher order linear differential equation. Now your question should be how to get complementary function and how to get integral, particular integral. So complementary function, is nothing but it is solution of homogeneous differential equation f of d y equals to 0. Remember, it is solution of differential equation f of d y equal to 0. Okay, now we will discuss about it more clearly in the next after some time. Now we will see what is particular integral. Particular integral is nothing but 1 upon f of d into q of x. 1 upon f of d, you know how to get f of d from f of d, y equals to q of q of x. F of d into y equal to q of x. So from this you have to write 1 upon f of d into q of x. This will be a particular integral. Now we are going to see some theorems. Its proof is not important, but still I will prove one of the theorem, and this theorem will not be used now, but after when we do some 10 to 11 lectures, after that it will be used extensively. So just remember them. So theorem, what the theorem says is 1 by d minus m into q of x is nothing but e to the power mx integral e to the power minus mx into q of x dx. Now what is the proof? Proof is very simple. If you call this as y, 1 by d minus m into q of x, and multiply throughout by d minus m. So what you are going to get? Minus dmy equal to dm into 1 upon dm into q of x, right? This will get cancelled out and you will be left with q of x. Now if you multiply, this is what? Just replace d by differential. D is differential operator, which is d by dx. So if you replace it by d by dx minus m into y equal to q of x, after this it will be dy by dx minus my equal to q of x. So this is a linear differential equation, and its solution is given by its integrating factor will be what? Its integrating factor will be e to the power integral minus m into dx, which will be nothing but e to the power minus e to the power minus mx, right? E to the power minus mx. After doing this, its solution is what? Y into integrating factor equals to integrating factor into q of x into dx plus c. So here integral minus mx into q of x dx plus c y into e to the power minus mx. When this e to the power mx shift here, we get e to the power mx integration e to the power minus mx q of x dx plus c, where q of x can be any function. Okay, precisely not we are mentioning any function, but it can be any function. You will see after we move ahead in this chapter. Now there is one case, okay, special case because it will be used after 10 or 11 lecture. Special case where q of x is what? E to the power mx. If q of x is e to the power mx, then just substitute this here. Then what you will get? 1 upon d minus m into e to the power. This is q of x, which is e to the power mx, which will be nothing but e to the power mx into integration e to the power minus mx into e to the power mx, which is q of x, into dx plus c, which will give you x e to the power mx, right? This will become 0. E to the power 0 is 1. Integration of 0 dx is nothing but 1. So it will be what? 1. Integration of 1 dx is nothing but x. So it will be x e to the power mx plus c. Now, what is the second thing is, if I say there is d minus m the whole square e to the power mx. Now what its solution will be? What you can do, write it as d minus m into 1 upon d minus m into e to the power mx. You know its solution. This solution you already know. So you can write it as, you can write this as 1 upon d minus m as x e to the power mx, if I am right. So this will act as your what? Q of x. Now this will act as your q of x. So what you can do now is apply the formula e to the power mx into integration e to the power minus mx into q of x, which is x e to the power mx, right, into dx plus c. Then here what you are getting, this will become again 0. E to the power 0 is 1, and you will do integration of x, which is this, which will give you e to the power mx x square by 2 plus c. Now third, if I say I want to find d minus m the whole cube e to the power mx. Now what you will do, write it like this, d minus m into 1 upon d minus m the whole square into e to the power mx. Its solution you already know, 1 upon d minus m into e to the power mx x square by 2. Now if you try to get its solution here, this will be what your q of x. So if you try to get its answer, e to the power mx will be as it is outside here, e to the power minus mx into e to the power mx x square by 2 into dx plus c. This will become again 0. E to the power 0 is 1. You are doing integration of x square, which is x cube by 3. So this will be 2 into 3, which will be 3 factorial. So this you can write as e to the power mx x cube by 3 factorial plus c. Now what we are going to do, if you do for the fourth power, it will be similar, e to the power mx 4 by 4 factorial plus c. So in general we can write 1 upon d minus m power n e to the power mx is nothing but e to the power mx will be there x power n by n factorial plus c. This is your answer. So we are done with this. Now we are going to discuss one more crucial thing, which is complementary function. How to get complementary function. Now if you remember what we have told, that complementary function, now we will discuss. I told you after some time we will discuss in very detail. So method to find. So just remember that theorem, because it will be used extensively as we move ahead, of complementary function, right? So first, what? Consider a fourth order linear differential equation with constant coefficient. So what you are having, d power 4 by y into dx power 4 p1 d cube y by dx power cube p2 d square by dx square into y p3 p2 p3 d by dx into y p4 into y equals to what? Q of x. Just take the y outside and replace this by d. So this will be d power 4 plus p1 d cube plus p2 d square plus p3 d p4 and this whole into y equals to q of x. Right? Now the roots of the auxiliary equation. Find roots of the auxiliary equation. What is auxiliary equation? Auxiliary equation we get from f of d. F of d is this. We call this f of d. Replace each d by m. So what we are going to get here, we will have m power 4 plus p1 m cube plus p2 m square plus p3 m p4. Now since it's a 4 order equation, its solution will be 4 roots. So which we will say m1, m2, m3 and m4. Now case 1. Case 1, when roots of the auxiliary equation are real and distinct. If the roots of the auxiliary equation are distinct, then what you have to do, that is, what does it mean real and distinct? They should be different from each other, all of them. They should not be equal to each other in any case. So complementary function is nothing but c1 e to the, then how you will write the complementary function if all roots are different, m1 m2, c1 into e to the power m1x, c2 into e to the power m2x, c3 plus c3 into e to the power m3x plus c4 e to the power m4x. Like this you have to write the complementary function. c1 into e to the power that root into x, c2 into e to the power m2 that root into x, c3 into e to the power m3 into x plus c4 e to the power m4 into x. Now case 2. Case 2 is what? Case 2 is roots of the auxiliary equation a dot e are real and equal. In what sense we mean by real and equal? If I mean real and equal, it can be that there can be many possibilities real and equal. Okay, 2 can be equal, okay, and 2 cannot be equal. 3 can be equal, 1 not be equal. All of them may be equal. So we are going to discuss in that first probability, which is m1 is equals to m2 but not equal to m3 and not equal to m4. So 2 roots are equal and 2 roots are not equal. Then its complementary function c dot f is what? Whenever roots are equal, what you have to write? This is c1, for this c2 is used, for this c3 and for this c4. So whenever 2 roots are equal, you have to write c1 plus c2 into x, okay, c2 into x, second root into x, into e to the power that 1, e power m1x, remember that, lowest one, e to the power m1x plus c3 e to the power m3x plus c4 e to the power m4x. Hope you have understood. 2 roots are equal, c1 plus c2 into x. If 3 roots were equal, let's see the second condition b. If m1 equal to m2 equal to m3 but not equal to m4, then complementary function will be given by, see here c1, this one is c1, c2 into x, and after this if third is equal, c3 into x square. You have to multiply, keep on multiplying x square, x into e to the power lowest one, e to the power m1x plus what is used for this c4, e to the power m4x. Okay, now what we are going to do, the third case, if m1 equal to m2 equal to m3 equal to m4, if all of them are equal, then complementary function is given by c1 plus c2x plus c3x square plus c4x cube into e to the power lowest e power m1x. Now, so this was the thing related to if roots are equal and not equal. Now there can be situation where after solving the auxiliary equation you may get roots imaginary or conjugate. So let's see the case 2. So case 2 is what? Roots of the auxiliary equation are complex conjugate. So if roots are complex conjugate, let's see the first case in this A. If m1 is what? Alpha plus I beta, m2 is what? Alpha minus I beta. Remember, complex roots always exist in pair. Okay, one root cannot exist alone. It will always exist in pair. Either the roots will be 2, 4, 6 or 8 like this. They cannot be 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 5 odd number of roots cannot be there in complex number. So and m3 is what? M3 and m4 are equal. So for this condition here, m3 is equal to m4. So I got this idea. Now how to write complementary function for this? For this you have to write e to the power whatever here first real part alpha x bracket. This is what? C1 will be used. Remember, cos this beta x plus what you have to write? C2 for this C2 into sine beta x will be there, bracket close. For this, since they both are equal, it will be what? C2 plus, since they are equal, C2 plus C3 x into e to the power lowest one m. Here it is C2, this will be C3, C4. It will lowest one is what? M3. So M3 power x. Hope you understand this thing. Now let's see the last case, which is B1. If m1 is alpha plus I beta, m2 is alpha minus I beta, and the roots m3 is what? Alpha plus I beta again, and m4 is also alpha minus I beta. So now how you will write the roots? So roots will be, which is complementary function. How you will write the complementary function? Sorry. So it will be what? E to the power for this alpha x bracket. These two are in pair, right? C1 and C2. So what we are going to write? C1 plus C2 x, since they are repeated, into cos beta x plus C3 plus C4 x into sine beta x. So hope you have understand how we wrote this. So this was all the things related to basic of higher order linear differential equation. In the next session we are going to begin with the question, and in the next session you will understand more clearly what we actually mean by solving the questions. But okay, but before going, I hope I forgot to tell one thing which you might know, that in this chapter how the question variety will be developed. The question variety will be developed by replacing q of x as e power x, replacing q of x as sin x, cos x, then polynomial function, combination of all of these. So here q of x will create variety. Now when q of x can be 0 also, so when, now this is when q of x, this is non-homogeneous linear differential equation. When, just see this, just listen this equation. When q of x is not equal to 0, it can be e to the power mx, it can be polynomial function, it can be sin ax plus b, okay, anything. It is called, this equation is, it is called non-homogeneous linear differential equation. But when q of x is equals to 0, it is called homogeneous linear differential equation. So hope you have understand what homogeneous linear differential equation means. When q of x is equals to 0, when q of x is not equal to 0, it is non-homogeneous linear differential equation. With this we are going to wind up this session and see you in the next session. Till then, practice these problems. Okay, bye.